All right. Oh, you want your hat? Oh god. I was like, I hit record. Take a look at my stomach. There you go. Yeah. No, should we do a perimeter search to see if there's any cops around my house first before we record this? This also looks like a weird, like, casting couch. So, oh my god.
I'm just in the corner, like...
Right? Oh my god!
Waiting for the reveal.
Right? I just turned 18, like, 2 days ago, and I moved out here. Oh my god, yeah!
So you know why you're here.
Right. And it's like, okay. Okay. Okay, let's be serious. So we saw 2 movies today. I know, big spenders, I know. So, we're going to talk about the first one, which was Us. And we're going to go into spoilers a little later. So, I guess let's just talk about a non-spoiler-ish. It's good. Jordan Peele is good.
He did it again.
He did it again.
Definitely did it again.
It is very good storytelling, filmmaking, all that stuff. I'm not surprised because it's Jordan Peele, you know, he is good. I like that in the beginning credit sequence, it's like written, produced, and directed by Jordan Peele. Like, okay, I'm just gonna let you know, Oscars, next time you gotta give me the awards.
This is me.
Right. You gotta give me the awards for all that. Mm-hmm. All that. So...
Put some spec on my name.
Oh my god. So, yeah, like, as you saw in the trailer, the movie's about how, like, it's a family, and then there's a doppelganger family, and then they gotta, like, survive. And just, like, watching it, this makes sense. Well, if you've seen the movie, that actually does make sense. Watching the movie, knowing that Jordan Peele is a fan of horror, and he's, like, in this horror genre, like, he knows what he's doing. He knows, like, his kind of, like, his references, his, I guess, or homages or whatever, he's, like, that kind of stuff to it. Why are you doing that weird? I want to be, like,
so dark. God damn it.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
I could put a light here.
It's too late. So.
Okay. Right, we could put a ring light on you, and then put some highlighter, you know. You like, oh my, anyway.
Back to the movie.
Anywho, so... Again, you can see, like, where he's kind of referencing kind of, it's not obvious homages, like, this is this movie, this is that, but just, like, stylistic-wise and everything, you know, you understand, like, okay, he's a fan of this kind of genre of horror, so you know where he's kind of tapping from. So while watching it, you could kind of, like, especially if you're that big of a fan of horror, you could kind of be like, oh, okay, I see where he's going with this, I see, like, even if you do see where it's going, the entire time my heart was pounding. I was like, oh, I have terrible anxiety. This is what I feel like normally, but now it's amplified. Thank you. You know? I'm just like, yeah, and it was really funny because, so we went to go see it in the Dolby theater. That's the one that has, like, the reclining seats, you know, and it's, like, louder, and it, like, shakes your butt and all that stuff, you know, which was fine, and I was actually glad. Because it's like, it's good to have a comfy seat when you're about to shit your pants. You're like, well, it came out and, like, you know, I was in this reclining position and it just all slipped that way, you know? So, again, the sound, because of it being the Dolby Theater and the sound was extra, the whole tension hook thing in scenes where it's like, you're like, ah!
Yeah,
you know?
It's literally like someone, like, doing creepy crawlies on your skin. You're like, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, and there are times where you're like, okay, and he doesn't do jump scares, which is good. That's not a spoiler. That's just, it's a good filmmaking thing, you know. And
jump scares are overrated.
And if you're gonna do it, like, have a payout. Don't have it where, you know, like, someone's like, dude, you forgot your keys, and it's like, because then you're mad because you got scared literally over nothing, you know. So yeah, it's very good. He knows how to use music, as we saw with Get Out. He knows his use of music, which kind of like, you know, at first you're like, oh, this is a good song, and then as the movie progresses, you're like, oh. Oh my god. Yeah, like he's like, oh, it's so smart because it's not like a song that gives away the plot, like, hey, there's a killer outside, I'm running up the stairs, grabbing them, you know, like.
Yeah, it's just a very.
Yeah.
iconic song that they made very creepy. So the second
Right.
you hear it, you're just like, oh shit, somebody's getting got.
And it's the original song, like, they didn't make it creepy like how a lot of, what they do a lot now, where it's like, have like a choir of children sing a nursery rhyme, kind of creepy. Yeah. It's like, there was an old man who lived in a shoe. Like, no. Like, it's like legit, like, it's that song from the 90s, and it's played, but you just realize, like, oh, okay, my friends and I used to chill to this. Now, well, I'm just gonna add extra locks to the doors and 400 cameras to the front of my house, that kind of shit. Although if you have a smart home, it doesn't fully help you. That's a spoiler. But anyway, slight spoiler. Not really a spoiler, but anyway. What else was I gonna say? Oh, non-spoiler related. So we sat a little bit off to the side, so there was like 3 kids next to me. And it was funny because their reaction the entire time to the movie was very on par what it's supposed to be, but then at the same time opposite of what our reaction was. So there's the beginning credit sequence, and most of the time beginning credit sequence are kind of boring because it's just like you're seeing credits and it's just like like the Tarantino thing where it's like a long swooping shot or something or whatever, or you're just panning out from something. And at one point I look over and like the girl next to me is just like this, like, and I'm like, this is the part where you're supposed to like shut the fuck up and see all the people involved in this project.
Exactly.
That's the point. Like, I'm not sure what the oldest movies you've watched, but that's how movies used to be. It was credits first, but alright, and then when it was funny because the beginning scene is at a beach, and the girl next to me, just, like, I hear her go, alright, doesn't seem so scary, because it's like nighttime at the pier, and the moment she said, this doesn't seem so scary, then the tension rod started going, and then immediately she put up her hood, and is like, all of a sudden she was like sitting like whatever, like this, to like, all of a sudden she is nowhere near me, and she's far away, like, to her friends, and you just hear like, a muffled like, yo, what do you think? I'm like, oh, it ain't scary? Alright. Like, it's like the movie Harder. Like, it ain't scary? Wow. And so it was funny because in moments where me and him, I would just be like, yo, oh my god, like, oh, ooh, or something. They would just be like freaking out. And even scary moments, like, because, being such a huge fan of horror, even scary moments, like, because it's such a good payoff, I found myself like happy. So I was like, yes, but the kids next to us were like, I wasn't scared. Shook too, I wasn't scared,
Pussies.
Pussy. Yeah. That was, and then it was funny, like, when weird new, again, just kind of like in the beginning where the one girl was like this, there were, like, towards the end when there was, like, the little nuances of whatever that were happening, you just hear them go, that's stupid. Oh, what? I don't get it. And it's like, it's called nuance. Nuance. There's an I in that word if you don't know.
Yeah. They definitely don't know.
They definitely don't.
They definitely don't know.
It was, and then when the credits rolled, they were just like, I'm out. And we were like, oh my god, dude! And they were just like, that was stupid. I'm like, children.
It's too cerebral for them.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're gonna go into spoilers. 1, 2, 3, spoilers. Like, do you want to go?
So, first and foremost, if you watched the movie and then looked at the posters, it's right there clear as day in your face.
Mm-hmm. With the whole, like, mask, like, Mom, is that really you? Kind of thing. Again, this is the spoiler section, so if you're upset, you watched too far. But yeah.
Too bad.
Right? I warned you.
Yep.
What else? Well, tell them how, like, it's not, don't expect another Get Out.
No, you're not gonna see Get Out 2. Definitely not. That's the first and foremost.
So how do you do a sequel to that? But anyway, go on.
I don't want to.
I don't want to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is a whole nother thing, but still gives you the feel of, like, what the fuck is going on. as I was explaining to Joe when we first came out of the movie, like, I like his concepts because they're not straightforward. They're very complex.
Mm-hmm.
You see one thing and then you realize there's many layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to get the result that you think you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You're hoping for a happy ending, but guess what? The happy ending may not just be what you think it is all cracked up to be.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the fact that the mom is a doppelganger herself.
She was, yeah. There was the switcheroo the whole time, and during the reveal of that in the third act, like we kind of had a feeling, like the moment, like even the part where it's like the whole. I guess you would call it the scene where the villain explains her plans kind of scene.
Mm-hmm.
And already we were just like, wait a second, she's different. How are you, of all the doppelgangers, shut up phone, of all the doppelgangers, you're the different one.
Yeah, it's
You know?
But then you get it
Yeah.
when you see that as to why she had her handcuffed
Right.
almost immediately once they got him in the house.
Right, whereas everyone was just kind of like, oh, okay, oh, whoa. Yeah, they were like, no, cuff that bitch. You know, because, like, they're gonna be, what's the word? Not furrow, but, like, you know, just rabid, that's the word. Rabid, just like the sun. Like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just, the acting was amazing. The kids were so good. Oh my god, the son was really good because...
Top notch.
I was gonna say, like, because he was really good at being a kid, but you know what I mean, because there are times where child actors try to be, like, more adult than they really are. It's like, oh, I'm, like, 10, 11 years old, but it's like, somehow, I'm talking like a 35-year-old, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, he was a kid, and you could tell the kid was awkward, because he always had the mask, and, you know, when shy kids, they, like, always, like, have a hood on, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And then his opposite, like, still played by him.
Was a straight up fucking predator.
Yeah, he was like... Yeah,
alien shit.
It's a
like,
weird,
what
like,
the fuck?
Silent Hill 2 crawling out from the van thing, me throwing the controller up at 3 in the morning, yeah. And he's like, you know, and he had that mask on, and when he takes it off, it's like burnt as fuck, because the kid is like, obviously a pyro, as you see in the movie, and you see in the trailer too. And it was like, because he's so simple, like, mentally simple, the son was able to kind of manipulate and, like, get out the situation and, like, get him to, like, walk back into the fiery, like, car and all that stuff.
Without realizing that kid already had plans to kill himself anyway. Like, you thinking checkers, they playing chess with you, son. You're like, oh yeah, I backed him into the fire, and we kidnapped you. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Got him!
It's like you didn't notice until, like, in the background when Lupita, like, moved her head because she was red against the car, and it was like, when she moved over, she just, like, grabbed it, it was like, oh!
Got him!
I love when they, yeah, and then, like, the scene with Tim Heidecker's family where the doppelganger daughter was, like, the handstand in the closet. I had a full, like, fucking,
yeah, that was fucking crazy.
The Vincent D'Onofrio in The Cell kind of thing, where it's like, because no one's just, like, there in a handstand normally, you know, because normally in like a horror film with like a slasher, like them standing there, that's scary. But if someone's standing there with their ass towards you upside down, you're like, oh
what
no.
The
and then they just, and especially like, you know, like, okay, one, that takes some strength and training, because there's no way my ass could do anything near that. Then when characters like that tend to, like, once they come back down and they're in that weird spider Linda Blair shit going on, you're like, it's like that unease, because it's already creepy, you add unease to it, and then you just golf club it, just golf club it. Yeah, that was the one, yeah, that's the one that got golf clubbed. The other one who ran out was the one who got, boo, over the balcony. Oh my god.
No, bitch, get out.
Oh my god, yeah, that was like... And tell them about, like, the other family, Tim Heidecker's family, the White family.
Oh, dude, there was no saving them at all. Their doppelgangers came in and did straight up Naruto ninja style on all the motherfuckers. Just clickety clack, 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 dead.
Oh my god.
It's like, excuse me? Dead.
Yeah. Whereas like Lupita and Winston's family, they were just like, oh my god, like a lot of that, like, okay, trying to like negotiate with them. Whereas like Tim Heidecker and Elizabeth Moss's family, they were just like, honey, I think I hear someone. Oh, I don't feel like moving. Okay, let's go check on someone. Hey, mom and dad, blah blah blah. And then like, I also, okay. if I'm at home, right? Like, if we live together, right? And like, I'm standing right there on the stairs, and I'm talking to you, and suddenly someone pops their head in, and it's only the two of us. Would you go, "Oh, excuse me"? Like, what was that?
Who the fuck is you? I'm cocking back, ready to go.
Yeah, like that part got me where it was like, why would you go, "Oh, excuse me"? I would be like, "Oh, hey, dude, what the fuck?" Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have a, like, the fuck? Dude, watch out! Like, something, and even, like, especially if that's your kid. You're looking up there at your twins, not just your kid, your twins. And then he's just like, "Excuse me," no, realizing it's like doppelganger, like, then it's like quad, because it's like your twins, and then there's the other one, and they're all like disheveled looking, and it's like, shh. Like, that part got me where I was like, oh my god.
There was no saving them at all. Like,
Oh my
the
God.
moment they showed up on the screen was the moment they died soon after. It's like, yo, what? Dead.
And they kind of play with some like horror film tropes where it's like in a good way. So, shit happens at their house, they go to their friend's house, and there's so many times with movies like that where you go to your friend's house and like the killer's there, like unmasked, or like the killer that everyone like blah blah blah, and they answer the door like, "Oh, are you so and so's uncle?" And you're like, "Yeah, come in." But the audience is like, "Don't fucking go in there together!" Whereas this one, like that family's dead, and it's the doppelgangers, and then Tim Heidecker doppelganger answers the door with like a robe over his jumpsuit thingy, and so Lupita's like, "Hey man," and she immediately sees it. Because that's another thing that's annoying with movies where it's like, obvious I'm the killer, here's like an 80s themed party and I'm suddenly in all black. Like, and they're like, "Oh, that's nothing wrong, he's just different," And then she just like sees it and she's immediately like, "No, no, 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 no," like, "No, bitch." Yeah. Oh my god.
Today, Satan.
Oh my god, yeah, that was crazy, and I was just worried that they were like that Winston was gonna get like really, really fucked up. But he just like at his knee.
Yeah, he held his own.
Yeah, he's like, "It's
I mean, he got bitched out early out. I can't front. He got his knee
Yeah.
jammed up. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna get it, but he held it down.
But that's also
He
part of
definitely held it down.
that's part of like the horror film trope is like the big jock guy usually gets like out early because they're like, well, you would think like, "Oh, that guy's the head of the football team or the wrestling team, so he's like he can fight the killer," but like he's like just drunk and falls off the balcony, that kind of stuff. So they kind of they get him by like literally like doing a Cartman, hitting him across the knees.
Bang! Ah, shit!
Yeah.
You mother
Yeah.
dirty dick bastard.
Ew. I like the part where once they were like, "Oh, we should just stay at like Tim Heidecker's house," but they were like, "No, those people are us. They'll know where we're gonna be."
Yeah.
And I like how the daughter just goes, "So that means we can, take their car, right?" And I like how he's like, "All right, we'll take the Range Rover, 'cause
Exactly.
those things
They're
are
like,
cheap."
fuck that.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was kind of funny. I was like, I like how they looked at each other like, "All right, yeah." If
mean, they are dead.
Yeah, if you insist.
Not like they're gonna miss it.
Right, like, I guess. Part of me was thinking that the climax was going to be her going back to the funhouse mirror thing and just setting it on fire. You know what I mean? Like, how most of the time in horror
and then
films...
that's just the end of it, but no.
Right, it's like, we got to burn the evil book, or we got to get rid of the evil monkey's toy, It's always something like, or like, we got to re-bury the thing we accidentally unburied. So part of me is like, in horror film tradition, like, to get rid of something, to cleanse it. And, and because I'm thinking off the trailer where the car and the kid was on fire, I was like, oh, they're probably just going to go and set the thing on fire. Not thinking that it's like, okay. Oh, she just goes through the thing, like, okay, goes to the thingy, and then goes down a very long
ass stair.
like, escalator, and then it's like this, like, I love that set. It's very creepy, but I love that set where it's like all white with like the little thing. Like, it looks like
It's like a fucking army barracks. That's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah, or like a Japanese subway tunnel. You know what I mean? Where it's just like very sleek, and then like it could be creepy when there's no one there. Like when there's people there, you're like, oh, we're just traveling through. But when it's empty, you're like, oh god, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, and like that, and then it kind of brings back the beginning part with like the rabbits and all that stuff, where the girl was like, "What do you mean rabbits?" And I'm like, it's gonna come back. That's how good storytelling is. There's the foreshadowing, there's the blah blah blah, there's the callback. That's what he's good at that. You know, he's good at that. And they talk about the bunnies and all that stuff. And then in my head, I'm thinking like multiply by like bunnies, and also I like that it wasn't just that family that had doppelgangers. It was literally like everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't just like we're singling out this, because most of the time, because if you really want to like simplify this movie, it just first appears as a home invasion movie.
Yep.
You know, so you're like, oh, home invasion. It's like with the movie The Strangers. It's like, why'd you pick us? Because we wanted to. Okay, that sucks. Why did the killer choose me? Because they wanted to. I'm in this house. Whereas like, okay, no, this is just, it's everyone. You know, it's like everyone.
You're just the driving factor because we forced you to be here.
Yeah.
You may not realize it, but
Yeah.
by the time you do, it's way too fucking late.
Right. And then it was like, yeah, like when they were heading back to the pier and stuff, you just saw all the dead bodies like everywhere, and you were like, "Whoa, damn!"
Exactly.
Because you know, like especially like you're not prepared for it. Because I think it's like seriously, if the son wasn't like, "Hey, there's a family outside," they wouldn't have kind of been prepared for it. Because other people, it was already like, "Excuse me," you know. You're like, "What the fuck?
Get off my lawn!" Bang!
Oh my god, yes, get off my car. Hey, excuse me, get off my... Hey, come here, little girl. Come here. Oh my god.
Slit his fucking throat.
Just...
His stupid privileged ass.
True. And it was an ugly ass car too, man.
Get
Like,
off my car! You think this killing machine gives a shit about your fucking car, bro?
oh my god.
Take this, Jack.
Yeah. Oh my god. Granddad, calm it down.
Sorry, that was funny.
Oh my god. But yeah, like, where I can totally see where people would get, like, not lost, but it would lose people, like, people would just not be behind the movie, is that part where it's like, you know, it's the part where they explain it all.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's kind of like Interstellar, where you can believe the entire movie until the part where he goes into the black hole and sends a message to his daughter. You're like, I don't think I'm with this movie anymore, you know. And I get it. At the same time, I'm here for this ride, you know. I'm in this chair. I'm in for this crazy
But
ride.
it's not a hard thing to understand, though.
Right.
Like, the whole concept is
Because they showed how weird it was
the
that
parents was fucked
yeah.
from a long time. The scene you thought you saw in the beginning was not what you saw.
Right. And it's like, a part of me was also thinking like a weird mirror world thing because the daughter was a dancer. And so when she was like dancing, and then they showed like the mirror image, I thought like, is that like, because the movie kind of entered it through Mirror World, I thought that's what it was, because there's like this Korean film called Mirror where it's like there is a mirror world and stuff.
Right.
So I was thinking that. I'm like, is this going to be something in that sense? But I'm like, no, it's literally just doppelgangers.
Yep.
And it's just crazy because it's also so weird where you see like the regular us normal people, like, you know, at the carnival, like, oh, I'm feeding you food, but then you see the doppelgangers like like that, and you're like, what the fuck, you know? Or like you see the people like woo, like on the rides, like woo, and then you see them like mashed in a closet, like like what the fuck?
Or the dad playing whack-a-mole, but he's really punching a fucking wall like a maniac.
Yeah. Cause like like you see the dad's like boom boom boom, yeah, but he's like rah rah rah, or like cause the dad had like the little plastic cup of water or whatever, and he's like, honey, do you want to? But then like in the doppelganger world, it's like was it metal or glass? But he was just like spill, smash, like you know, like very like caveman, like fire, you know, like that kind of stuff, and like it's very interesting, and then it's also like when it ends with that shot of the whole Hands Across America thing, you know, I was just like part of me's like, okay, you're trying to bring awareness, but like a good amount of people are dead now, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's also like okay, and again, good filmmaking because it makes you talk about it and want to know like further, you know.
What the fuck
because
happened to all these people?
Right, all these people who are dead now. There's like the copies of them who are Hands Across America and shit like that, and then it's also like, and then what? So like, are you standing there like this forever, or are you there for a day? You know.
Well,
it's like you're kind of wondering, like, and then what happens? Are you there for, like I said, a day, like 3 hours, like until the sun sets, and then we all just go back as mole people into the sewers or something? Again, it doesn't need to be explained, and knowing that Jordan Peele's a good writer and movie person, he's not going to do like a sequel, and or hopefully
no real need to. I mean,
no, because then it'll be
Peter's character did what she wanted to do, and
right.
bring awareness to what the fuck was going on.
Mm-hmm.
She's kidnapped by a bunch of fucking doppelgangers, ended up becoming their queen, and had them doing their bidding to get her family back, but got offed in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking sick.
Oh my god, that was, and then the son's face at the end,
like I know who you are, bitch.
like that look like. Like, it was so good. There was such a good face because you read exactly what he was thinking on that face. Like this, like.
Yeah, well, you read it if you knew what the hell happened. If the movie lost you, then you were confused at that.
Right. Or even if it didn't lose you, you're just kind of like, oh, he's mad. Again, like the kids next to me were just like.
Not mad. He just realized he was born and raised from somebody not of
the correct world. I guess you would say. Yeah, which part of you would feel kind of scared, Which also, oh my god, my brain just like got it that she was the only one that could talk. Everyone else was like. All that stuff, like my brain just finally got that part. I'm so stupid.
That's why she was all raspy, because her fucking voice box got crushed from when she was little.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, and it's because it's like Lupita has such a sweet, lovely voice, and her American accent's pretty good. But like for her to be like, and like talking like that, you're like, because she's such a beautiful woman, and then like that voice comes out, you're like. Oh my god!
Yeah, you're like, no, there's no way that can be the real one. No way.
Oh god! You're like, I'm uncomfortable, and it's like, but it's so good. I heard that the little kids that she acted with, like, because she did such a good job like that, they were like so frightened of her. But I'm like, I mean, like I was too. Like I said, she's such like a beautiful person and all that shit. And if even acting in the scene and that came out, I would have been like, I would just be like it was not acting. It was like, nah, what?
Like, who is this bitch?
Oh, okay. You scared me for a second.
Security?
You actually scared me for a second. I thought you were pointing over there, and I was like, I'm not turning my head. I'm too scared right now. I thought you seriously scared me. I was gonna be like, there is light on right now, and I would know if someone came in. This house is creaky enough. I would hear, right? Bitch. I got a block of stone here, man. I can beat them with your face. I can beat them with your face. Oh my god. Like, don't know. I can't have that right now. I've got a heart condition. I can't be startled. I got a heart condition.
Man.
But, yeah, like, in conclusion to my TED Talk, yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I really like it. Of course, and I get it because, Get Out was such a huge hit that I know there's going to be some people who are going to be, like, insanely critical of this movie, wanting more or thinking it's too weird, blah, blah, blah. I was fine with it.
Another standalone project.
That's what it is.
Enjoy it for what it is.
I think it's very smart. Again, even with stuff like Get Out, where you can see, like, how he paid homage to like, other horror films, it's like, it works. Like, he does it really well, because a lot of times with horror films, it's not just like, hoo, kind of stuff. Exactly. It's the creep factor, and, I definitely got that from this movie.
And the fact that, in the end of the movie, you get mind-fucked and rooting for the bad guy.
Right, because in the end, you're like, what? And it's like a Breaking Bad thing, where in the end, you're like, oh my god, so Skylar was right the whole time, Yeah. What trailers did we get? We got Pet Sematary. We walked in when Pet Sematary was playing, which I'm like, I'm like...
The girl version of Superbad.
Right. What was it called? Booksmart.
Yes.
It's directed by Olivia Wilde. I don't know why I was going to say book fuck. I'm sorry. It's one of them days.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. That looks awesome.
What else did we get a trailer for?
There was 2 Red Bands, weren't there?
Yeah, there was... So that was the one they cussed... What's the other one they cussed at?
Wasn't it
God.
Tarantino one?
Yes, Tarantino. Yes, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was funny because I was like, oh, another Red Band one? And then I just saw DiCaprio and I was like, Tarantino! Of course, of course. What else? I don't know, because I didn't write it down. I don't remember. I think it's, oh, Endgame. Endgame.
Yeah, but
Like, I'm waiting for those tickets to go on sale so I can buy them. It's not fair. It's coming to an end. I spent so many years spending all this money, and I don't get anything in return, Marvel. Anyway, I mean, like, just pay for my therapy bills, man. I'm just saying. I think that was it, because the other trailers have happened for the next movie. But yeah, anyway. Because, let's see, what else? So, well, we didn't get a trailer for this, but Hellboy's coming out on the 12th. We're probably going to go, depending on time, probably going to try to go see that.
Not try, will.
In California. What else? Because at the end of the month, it's not April yet, what am I talking about? At the end of next month, my brain is everywhere, it's going to be Endgame and all this other stuff. No, the Godzilla trailer was for the... Okay, see, I'm thinking about the other ones. Yeah, alright, so go see us, and then we're going to talk about the next movie. Alright, cool. And I'm going to stop it.